Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. Call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Radash. Double honors once again to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who through the Spirit continue to teach us His truth. All right. This is Naaman of the DC camp, and this is from Newsweek. Just another video to let you know, hey, the fix was in. All right. This is Capitol staffer says office panic buttons were torn out before riot. All right, it says a Capitol staffer found that the office panic buttons had been torn out while she hid from pro-Trump insurrectionists swarming the building during last week's siege. All right, it says Sarah Grow, the chief of staff of Democratic Representative Ayanna Pressley. She's one of the, her with what's her name, AOC. Out of New York, says she joined other staffers taking refuge in the Congresswoman's office as the protesters flooded in. All right, it's almost as if, they were specifically targeted. It says Grove told the Boston Globe that the group barricaded the door while with furniture and water jugs that had piled up during the pandemic before she pulled out a gas mask. But when she looked for the special panic buttons, she found they had been removed. All right, here are the people who breached the security. All right, it says every panic button in my office had been torn out, the whole unit. All right, adding that the team could come up with no rationale as to why. The staffer said that she had used them before and they had not switched offices since then. All right, it says she explained that because of multiple death threats aimed at Pressley over the past 2 years, it had become routine for her staffers to run through safety drills. Pressley is one of 4 progressive Democrat representatives in the quote-unquote squad, has faced racist attacks from Trump supporters. All right. At the time of the attack, Groh tweeted at Ayanna Pressley and I are currently safe. Thank you for your messages. The chief of staff later said that she shared this post just as the team had taken refuge in the office. She wrote, I had gas mask in my hand, barricaded the doors to our office with furniture, and tried to throw our panic buttons within a few minutes of sending this. We are okay, but this is not okay. White supremacist terrorism, that's what this is. All right? And several things going on here because whether this individual knew it or not, we know that this was all staged. And guess what? More and more of your rights are going to be taken, all right? Because that's what they aim to do. You put so much faith in that piece of paper called the U.S. Constitution, all right? And it's just that, a piece of paper, and only a piece of paper, all right? This right here, what we have, all right, is the real Constitution, all right? This is the Constitution, all right? It doesn't change. There's no amendments to it. All right. There's her tweet. Continuing on, it says 5 people, including a police officer, died during the violence just hours after President Donald Trump addressed crowds at a Stop the Steal rally. All right. The Capitol was placed on lockdown as protesters bore down on the building and eventually broke in. While senators debated the merits of overturning Arizona's Electoral College vote, protesters in Trump gear pushed past security guards, prompting concerns about legislators' safety. All right. Again, this man, we're talking about the nation of Edom, all right, in general, but in particular, we're talking about these American Edomites, all right. They're losing their power, therefore they're losing their grip. And we know that in times past, when you, for instance, let's go here. First, let me get some scriptures here. And we're going to go straight to, as soon as it loads up, staying in Psalms. Let's go to 64. This is Psalm 64 and 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. It says, hear my voice, O Most High, and my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, because we know it's the elites here pulling the strings, all right? All right, your elected officials, including the president, are just puppets, all right? It doesn't matter who's in there, all right? You change one, it's still, the agenda is going to continue. It doesn't matter. Now, the only thing with what's happening now, Trump was a nationalist. It's one of those populist candidates, all right? And you knuckleheaded Jakes, you so-called Negroes, once again were tricked, because what? You got in your emotions, and what you're going to find out is, despite of anything else, Trump, this thing is basically anti-male, all right? You have this whole BLM, which was LGBT in disguise. This whole thing is anti-male at its highest, all right? And Trump was about, not only that, he was about putting America first, trying to bring things back to the way they used to be. And a lot of Jakes got caught up in their emotions, all right, and didn't see it for what it really was, all right? Yeah, you got the chance, you know, make America great again and all this, and for us, it doesn't matter, all right? We're screwed no matter what, all right? That's why we should hasten a day to get the hell up out of this bitch, and we want it to fall, all right? But you fell for the okie doke. You're going to find out if this guy takes office, because there's several things, like I said, going on here. Several ways this could play out. He may not even take office. If he does, things still gonna pop off. All right, excuse me, my voice. Because again, these Edomites, these so-called white people, all right, as Dr. Cornel West used to coin a phrase. He said, you know, these Edomites are going through what Jake has gone through their whole entire lives, and now they're going through it. And he coined the phrase, he said, now you've been niggerized, you know, and they can't stand it. It's okay when it was just us, but now, oh no, we can't have that. And that's how you're getting the reaction that you got. You had all this Pizzagate, all this, and they quick to call people conspiracy theories, but we know that combined with Hollywood, that's going on. Where are all these children that are missing? What's happening to them? All right, you not only have children being sacrificed, you have them being put into or sold into slavery, to include sex slavery. It's all kind of demonic things going on around here, but you're just supposed to sit back and shut your mouth and allow the status quo to continue. No, it's past time for that, because ultimately they want to put us, the children of Israel, back in slavery. All right. Continuing on, it says, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. And a big part of that is Esau's media. All right. And you can go to Revelation 12 and 10. All right. I can encourage you to read from the top. It says, Revelation chapter 12, verse 10, it says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Hamashiach, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down. Who is the accuser? And on his physical counterpart are these Edomites, the descendants of Esau, these so-called white people, which accuse them before our power day and night. All right. Look what the children of Israel are doing. Look, they're faggots, they're drug dealers. Look at this. And he's the one setting our people up to do this. All right. You know, back to the article. But This is a beautiful time to be alive, just to see this devil going down, the things that happen. Let me get a scripture well, now it loaded. Let's see. Since I brought that up real quick, this is Sirach or Ecclesiastes chapter 25, and we're going straight to the point. Verse 7, it says, "There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue, a man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy." And that's the point, that's the stage that we're at now. We're seeing the downfall of this devil, and it is beautiful. All right, it is beautiful. All right, continuing on. I'm not going to wrap it up here. Let's see. It says the chief of staff later said that she shared this post just as the team had taken refuge in the office. She wrote, "I had gas masks." Okay, I already read that. Salakia. It says the Capitol was placed on lockdown as protesters bore down on the building and eventually broke in. And we know that's not necessarily the whole truth. Some were let in, because you got to consider those people that are sworn to protect, all right, those in the Capitol, all right, that are sworn officers in general, all right, some of them agreed with these protesters, all right, and that's across the board, any kind of law enforcement, as it were, and your elected officials. This was not, don't put it all on the protesters, because they had help. It says, while senators debated the merits of overturning Arizona's electoral college vote, protesters in Trump gear pushed past security guards, prompting concerns about legislative safety. And our question has also repeatedly come about what if this has been BLM? All right. It's not any stretch of the imagination to, hey, wouldn't even got up the steps. So that's letting you know, in your face, all right, that it's all for naught. We need Yahushua to come back. Pence, who was presiding over the Electoral College certification proceedings, was taken out of the chamber, and legislators were asked to shelter in place. Speaker Nancy Pelosi was also rushed from the House floor. Law enforcement was completely overrun as the pro-Trump mob continued to barge further into the buildings. All right, like I said, this was all staged. All right, because now more draconian measures are going to be instituted. Like as it stands now, you can't get anywhere close to that area. And this is going to some of the comments. I worked in the alarm industry for 50 years. Any government agency should have supervised panic buttons, meaning if they are tampered with or removed, a signal to that condition should be transmitted to the central station that is monitoring the alarm, and action should be taken immediately. This is not acceptable in the security industry. Scrolling on down, Plum Hunter says, who would have authorized the removal of these panic buttons? I did not know about these devices. Obviously, it had to be someone who worked in the buildings who were authorized to enter these offices. Would not seem to take the FBI or the Boy Scouts to track this one down. Continuing on, John Martin hits the nail on the head. So much proof of a planned insurrection with GOP assistance. This was not a spontaneous protest. There you go. I'm going to stop it right there. Of course, I'll post a link. And yeah, so people aren't the dummies, at least quite a few are not. So again, they're going to have to speed things up, and when you do something like that, you get sloppy. That's what's happening now, all right? Everybody's seeing through all this stuff, so he's going to have to use his other blessing, because deception isn't working. So he's just going to have to come straight with it, all right? And that's his sword, all right? So with that, I hope whoever views this is edified, as we aim to do, in order to wake up the remaining hopeful elect. So with that, call halal Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushua, Ba'Hashem Rakar Kodash, and of course, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. So with that, Shalom.